Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Andy, the Painting Fireman. Thanks so much for joining me today. Thank you for subscribing if you subscribed. If you like these kind of videos, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. Really helps me out. I think we're up to 65, so that's really cool. I honestly didn't know what was going on when I first started this, but thanks for watching, and I hope everybody's enjoying watching these painting videos. Today we're going to work on a black canvas. I painted it with black gesso. Let that gesso completely dry, and as you can see, I put some Indian yellow, alizarin crimson, and some phthalo blue on the top. So black canvases are really cool. You just add white paint to it. The bottom, I don't have anything on the bottom. I put a little bit of brown on the bottom, but that's about it. This is completely dry here. But all the black canvases, you can just add white, and whatever paint's underneath, it'll really shine. So it's if you're a first-time painter, I suggest using a black canvas. It's really cool what happens. You can amaze people just by putting white on the canvas, and it turns all these colors. So I think today we're just gonna go kind of deep in the forest maybe. There might be some snow on the ground, almost like a fall kind of, just about winter time kind of scene. So no mountain today, maybe I'll do a mountain next week if I got time. So anyway, let's get to the canvas. We're just going to start with some plain old titanium white on the big 2-inch brush. Just drag some of that out. And the big decision today right now is figuring out where our horizon's going to be. So I think we're just going to start here and work our way across. And you can see that yellow just completely pop out of there, and that's really what you want. That's pretty awesome. It'll come up into the red. Just making my X strokes all the way around. Red, and then it should turn into that purple and blue on the top. So you don't want to go back into that color again. You don't want to go down with a dirty brush. So you're going to have to clean your brush. I cleaned my brush with odorless paint thinner, and I got a little, I made this little box. Actually, I got a new one. I made it out of an old filing cabinet, and it seems to work really good containing all the thinner. So you can hear me rattle that out there. Add some more white paint, start right in the middle again, and move outwards with it. And just keep making your X's. I kind of like the brightness I got in that sky for the sun already, so you can just add a little bit of white on there, and you can move up into the sky up here. All I'm doing is those X strokes, and you can add or not add, whichever your flavor you kind of like. If you want it a brighter blue sky up there, you can definitely add some more if you want. I think maybe just a little bit brighter, not too much. There we go. Just a little bit brighter, and just add that more white. But just make sure, the biggest thing is making sure you don't go into your yellow, because that'll kind of, the paint from your brush will go right into that yellow part, and you really don't want that. So clean your brush every time. It only takes a few seconds, but it's going to help you out for sure. That way you're not dragging dirty paint into the bottom. I think that's bright enough as is. I see a little something there. There we go. And now what we can do is we can just go into the white or into the yellow part and just soften it and blend all these together. So just take your brush, blend it together. You want to blend it to the point where you don't know where one color ends and the other one starts. So you just want to blend it together to any extent you want. And if you pick up a little bit of paint, you can just take it and wrap it off there. And keep blending it to whatever extent you want. If you see a little hair or something there, just take the corner of your brush, go back. I think maybe we'll make it just a tinge brighter right there. There we go. I want that sun, it almost looks like a sun shining through there. That's kind of the effect I'm going with. Sun kind of going through the trees or whatever. And then gently take your brush, you can go all the way across. Just getting rid of those brush strokes. That's all you're doing. Very gently. Now is a good time to have a look at your sky, see if you missed any spots, maybe blend some out there if you want. It's always good to come back and have a look at what you're doing. Just a quick look. Step back a little bit. I think I need a little brighter on this side here. So all I did was add a little bit of white to my brush. Make it kind of look like wispy clouds maybe in the background there. I don't know how much of that we're going to see, but we know it's there. And nice and gently across. Alright, I just stepped back and have a look, and I just kind of brightened a few spots up in the sky. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to take, I haven't used this brush very much. It is called a round brush. It's pretty big, but I want some big bushy trees in the back on the sides here, maybe down against the horizon and up again. So we're just going to take some brown and some dark sienna, and all I'm doing is tapping it. If you can see that, just tapping the top of the brush into those two colors. Just kind of the top of that brush. And I think we're going to put some trees right here, maybe right there. And we'll go a little higher with these ones. And you can just keep adding. I just want kind of a brown kind of color for the trees at the moment. Maybe a little here. Let's see what we got. A little taller here. And I'm just using the top of that round brush. Put some here maybe, little smaller ones. And vary your height. You can vary the height of them, but you kind of want these little see-through spots. And that's what's great about this round brush, is it makes those see-through spots. And it just, all I'm doing is tapping. It's no secret. Just tapping that brush. Just tapping it in there. You can add more paint as you feel you need. That's so awesome what happens just by tapping this brush. It leaves those spots open so it looks like real branches and looks like real trees in the back. Just tap it in there. Vary your heights. Vary your height. All the trees don't grow at the same pace, you know, so just vary your height. Maybe we'll make this one a bit taller than the rest of them. There we go. All right, now we need some branches for those trees. I need to find my liner brush. Maybe add a little bit more brown to my palette. Oops. So we're just going to take the liner brush, and what we want is our brown color that we're going to use for the branches to be almost like ink. So you just dip some into your paint thinner, and you're just going to twirl it around. I don't know if you can see that. Just going to twirl it around. You want it really thin. And now we can decide where we're going to put some branches. So you can put some in here. Whichever way you want to do it. This one. And just that indication, we're probably going to cover most of it. Nice and thin. Like I said, we're probably going to cover a lot of it up. And take your time. You got lots of time. Just some indications, nothing too predominant. Like I said, we're probably going to cover a lot of that up. I just want that indication that there's some branches in there, just in case we can see them. And just use the same brown color. Same brown color that we have. You can put as many or as little as you want. I wouldn't worry too much about how they look exactly, because it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because like I said, we're going to probably cover most of them up. So, all right, let's put some highlights on our trees here. We're just going to go into the yellow. I didn't clean the brush at all. Just yellow and yellow ochre. I want lots of paint on it, but I just want paint. I don't know if you can see that, just on the top of that round brush. So just some Indian yellow, yellow ochre, just on the top. We're gonna figure out where our bushes live. So we're just gonna put one there, and all you have to do one bush at a time. Maybe up front here, there's another one. One bush at a time. We're just going to do the front bushes first. And you can vary the colors. And just tap. Just very gently. Maybe stick some red in there. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Wow. That just brightens everything up, doesn't it? Just a little bit of color in there. Just in the front. You can go back into your yellow again and just keep going with these bushes here. Make sure you leave some dark though. These are bushes kind of in the front ways. Kind of like that red that really popped out there. Really nice. Oh, that looks good. And all I'm doing is tapping. Just reload. You want lots of paint. This is kind of almost like a morning sunrise kind of scene. So you don't want everything super bright in this. Just enough. And we can do the same up here. Just very gently, just tap that color in. You see, we kind of went over just those leaves. It's almost a fall, autumn, right before the snow, or maybe there's snow on the ground already. Maybe there's a nice, oh, look at that. Nice red one right there. Beautiful. You want to leave some dark in the back. That's the most important thing. You got to leave some of that dark to show the light. Just keep going back and forth. I'm going to add, sorry, excuse me, a minute. I just got to add some more. This brighter yellow. Just a little bit of that yellow in there. I don't use a lot of paint on my palettes. I just don't like wasting it. You just never know how much you need. So it's okay to go back and forth and grab some paint from your tubes. It's not a big deal. So this round brush really does some really nice work. Red in the back there. Vary your colors, like I say, it's just tap them in there, and all I'm doing is using the top of that brush, just the top. But I want to leave some of this darkness in there. Just leave some of that darkness in there. Oop, a little bit too much paint on that one. All right, so in case you did a little whoopsie like I did right there, I had way too much paint. You can go in there, scrape some of it off. You can take your darker color, tap some in there. There we go. Go back with your color that you wanted. I just had too much of a glob of paint there. Here we go, fixed. Didn't even know it was gone, right? Didn't even know it was gone. And you can put bushes wherever you want. Like there's no rule that says you have to have 5 bushes or 10 bushes. Really doesn't matter. They say that's a shiny. Oh wow, look at that guy. Maybe he got a little bit more sun than everybody else. They say that odd numbers of things look better to the viewer, but I don't know how much that means to anything really. Paint whatever you want to paint. Do whatever you want. Honest, it's your painting. You got full license to do whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to keep adding a little bit here, and we'll go on to the next step. All right, I'm just putting on some white paint just on the fan brush. We're going to go in here, and I just started a little path. I apologize, I forgot to press record again. Just a little path that goes kind of deep in the woods there, maybe around the corner somewhere. And we're just trying to figure out the lay of the land. That's all we're doing. Like I said, maybe there's still some snow. Let it pick that color up. Let it just pick that color up. And very gently, not using a ton of paint. I kind of want to still make it look like snow here, right? And add paint whenever you need it. Let it pick that color up. Same with that other side there. Maybe this side goes in here like this. Kind of meets here. That's too much of a turn there, so we'll just go back and fix it. No problem. And just have a look at your painting here. See what makes sense. And it's okay to grab a little bit of that color. Just bring it together. All I'm doing is using my fan brush right now. Maybe on this other side here. Go with the lay of the land. So I got slopes coming in here, and I think I got sloping over that way. Just be very careful when you're going up to these trees. You don't want it exactly a straight line, but just it'll give it a little depth if you kind of go in a little bit and then back. Just keep adding paint when you need it. And you can fool around a little bit with it wherever you want to add a little more. Just make sure that it's kind of looks okay. If you need to add a bush or something, you can always add a bush on top of there. It's not a big deal. Just back and forth. Yep, just keep going back and forth, and you can fool around with it as much as you want. Let's see, I think maybe we'll put something big here. I don't know, we'll see what goes on. Maybe we'll put some water there. That might look like a good spot for water. Who knows? Maybe what we'll do is we can add a little bit of color. Take that yellow. The yellow kind of looks pretty nice there. We'll scrub some in there. Excuse me. Scrub some in the bottom. Just because I think that yellow is kind of predominant in a lot of places. We'll put some in the water too. So just take some yellow on your 1-inch brush. Don't want a lot. And we can just add some yellow in there. Add a bit of yellow. What we're gonna do is we're gonna pull this down, and that'll make a nice little reflection. And then we'll figure out what we're gonna do with these ones on the side. So you can take your big 2-inch brush, just add plain old white to it, and just pull straight down. Straight down. I know this part looks kind of weird right now, but we'll try and fix that up. Just pulling straight down. And then we can go gently across, and that'll blur that water. Maybe it's ice too, I don't know, we'll see. You never know. Never know. All right. Take our fan brush again. Maybe a little more white. Add a little more white to the old palette. And maybe some of that snow kind of goes from the top here. Maybe it kind of ends on this side here. There's kind of like a little lake or something. And that snow just kind of filters to the bottom here. And you can put some of that snow into the ice. I guess it's ice. Ice or whatever the heck that is. Could be water. Maybe he goes this way here. I want it to curve down, so give that brush a little curve down. Maybe that snow is kind of leaking into the water there. And just at the very end, you can curve it downwards. It'll make it look better. Same with this side here. Just come in, curve it downwards. Add some more paint if you need to. We're going to put in a little bit of a water line there anyways, just to sharpen everything up. Maybe it is water. I don't know. I guess it's whatever the person that's looking at your painting thinks it is, right? If they think it's water, well, then it's water. If they think it's something else, well, I guess it's something else. Got a little puddle there. That's about all I'm looking for, is that just a little puddle of water, you know. So I'm using it's dry on this side. I didn't add any liquid white or anything like that. You probably could. It'll make your paint flow a little bit better, I suppose, but I just decided not to do it this time. And you can tell it makes it a little harder to maneuver doesn't flow quite as good. So I do use liquid white if I'm doing just like a non-dark painting. And liquid white you can also use for the front when we're trying to put in a shoreline. So you can just take a little bit of your liquid white. Oh, just make sure you clean off your knife. Get mine dirty. Just a little bit of liquid white. And you can go in here, just straighten everything up. That'll help that little rough line there. Just a bit on your knife. Just cut it in. Now when you're cutting in water lines, make sure you're going straight across, okay? Straight across. If you don't have that straight across, it's gonna look like the water's coming right off of your painting. That's not exactly what you want. Not exactly what you want. Straight across. Kind of makes it look like that ice kind of almost is done breaking off the side there, right? That's kind of what I'm going for. It's kind of a cold, just starting to snow, just painting. You can add a few things here and there if you want, if you think you need something on the bottom there. I think maybe, let's see, we'll use some of our brown, maybe just at the very bottom here. Just at the very bottom, there's we'll let it go that way. All I did was I took my 1-inch brush. Let's use the colors that we had up there. Tap it in. And we'll add a little white to that. And I'm just dragging that color in there, because I think maybe there's some bushes right at the front here. And we can go ahead and scratch some little sticks or whatever that's in there. You decide. Just thought the front of this painting needed a little bit more. I still got some of that liquid white stuck on my knife, so that kind of, you see how it's coming off and it kind of looks like those sticks have snow on them, right? And you can go in here and scratch a few things if you want. Maybe here. Just that little bit of liquid white still stuck on my knife. Maybe there's some stuff hiding back here, I don't know. Maybe some trees or sticks or whatever. Always scratch them in there. Just those little extra details, right? That'll help your painting out a lot. Just those little extra ones. It almost looks like branches and stuff like that, and all you're doing is cutting things in with your knife. You're not really adding paint, you're almost taking away paint or moving it around, right? And we can go back and clean up the bottom if you want. Clean up my knife here. Grab some more liquid white. Just don't like the way this bottom looks. So just go ahead and fix it. And you can add some stuff here, make it look like ice or whatever. Straight across with your knife, right? I think I decided it's ice now with all these little snowy things on the front of it. Scratch it in. think it's ready to sign, so just dip your liner brush and pick a color. You can dip your liner brush into some paint thinner there, make it nice and thin, roll it around. So you got a nice point. We're going to put it right on the bottom here this time. Just your signature. Mine's just an A with an M in the ear. You can do whatever you want for your signature. It really doesn't matter. It's your signature. Do whatever you want with it, right? There we go. I think we got a finished painting. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Andy, the Painting Fireman. Keep your shiny side up. Stay safe, friends.